So in my research, I studied about 400 different scenarios, pieces of work, projects like debug a program, write a proposal, teach a class, build a campus. And we looked at how experienced people did that and how people who are rookies doing it for the very first time did that work. Looked at all the common elements. Here's what we found. The first thing we found is that experience creates a number of blind spots. Now with experience, we obviously get knowledge, wisdom, we gather data points, which actually informs our powers of intuition. We build confidence, we build networks, but we create blind spots. What happens when we know the pattern? What happens when we know the code, so to speak? What do our minds do once we've seen a pattern before? You stop innovating. You stop innovating. What do you stop seeing?
Possibilities.
You start seeing opportunities, you start seeing possibilities, and sometimes we start, as my teenagers say, making stuff up. Like, Mom, you just make stuff up. Sometimes we fill in the gaps. Is there someone with a nice loud voice who would read this for us?
I will.
Yeah, thanks. Big and loud for us.
It doesn't matter in what order the letters are wrote in a word appear. The only important thing is that the first and last letter are in the right place. The rest can be a total mess, and you can still read it without problem.
Okay, and keep going for us. You've done a really nice job, and it sounds good, too.
Your mind is reading this automatically without even thinking about it.
What happens when we know the pattern? We fill things in. And sometimes we start answering questions before the question has actually been asked. Sometimes we stop seeing new data points. We stop seeing contrary points of view. Often once we know the patterns, we stop seeking feedback, input. As was said, we stop seeing new possibilities. And with experience typically comes bad experience and scar tissue. And what are our scars? You might think about the scars that you have on your body. What do they tell you? They remind you about your mistakes that you've made. You know, this one reminds me, do not bet your husband a cheeseburger that you can hit a ball in the 70-mile-per-hour fast pitch cage. Don't do that again. And I have a whole set of scars that remind me not to do things that didn't seem to work out very well the first time. And as you enter into the workforce, you'll have ideas that touch on people's scar tissue. And they'll quickly say, no, tried that, didn't work. Experience creates a number of troubling blind spots.